I have not made a video in a while, so I wanted to make a video today. Hopefully it helps somebody, or maybe it can just get some great feedback and we can start talking about this more often. But it's out here and it's happening. So let's get right into it. So recently, not recently, I won't say recently. Let me tell you a little bit of background. I got 3 kids. And so I got a set of twin boys. They're 4. And I have a daughter that is 1. My set of twin boys, one was diagnosed with autism. And it was really hard for me to accept in the beginning. So I want to talk about accepting. Let's talk about that first, because accepting is just, it was hard. It was hard. Um, I saw the signs at 14 months. Now, prior to 14 months, I felt like somebody dropped my baby. Like, I was like, wait a minute, my son is digressing. Like, he responded to his name. He was interacting. He was dancing. He was sociable. I'll never forget, I got a video of him and his brother chasing one another, like being sociable. And I'm just like, what happened? He wants nothing to do with his brother. Like, it just, I didn't know what happened. And so I started doing my research. And the biggest thing that I realized, my son stopped responding to his name. Like, we would say his name and he wouldn't dance no more. He wouldn't, like, I was like, okay. I got ears checked. I mean, I went to ENT faithfully. Please believe. Because I was thinking maybe something wrong with his hearing. You know, something's going on. My baby can't hear me. And that reality set in. No, baby, it's autism. And I got this. We got this. Me and my husband put on our boots and we went to working on it. We got to working, baby. And when I tell you, how long did it take me to accept? Good question. Once I started seeing the signs of him digressing, because they were twins, they were born a little bit early. I already had service in place for both boys. And that's what's going to make me talk about getting services. So I had service in place for both kids. So I was already a step ahead of what I saw. Speech, OT, physical therapy was never any services we needed, because we did all the physical therapy things. So physical therapy was never nothing we needed. But we did get occupational. We did get speech. And we also get ABA. So we've been getting services since about a year, 2 years, since they was 1 or 2 years old. And one son, my first twin boy, he has service out. He has no more services. He doesn't need speech, occupational, none of those services. He's doing just great, blossoming, busy young man, but he's doing good. My second son, my second twin boy, he is still in services. He gets speech. He get occupational. Like I stated, we never needed physical therapy. We don't have physical therapy. And we also added ABA. Now, we will have a video about ABA, but I'm not going to go too far in that, because I know some parents are not for ABA and some are. And I know ABA has come a long way since back when it first started. So I will give you a juice about the sauce about ABA. But right now we're going to stick to accepting. And so I found out my son had autism. I confirmed that he had autism. And after I confirmed it, I did an MChat. I think it's called an MChat exam online. And it asked me a couple of questions prior to us being diagnosed. And when I saw it, literally, I was like, okay, I'm not crazy and I'm not self-diagnosing my son, but we score low on this chart. And I went to my pediatrician. I got to tell you guys, I love my pediatrician. My boy's pediatrician is really good. So I went to her and I broke. I cried. I cried. I literally cried. Like, anybody who knows me knows I'm crybabies behind my kids. Just all 3. My daughter had me crying after that. So my kids. My husband, they know I'm sensitive about my kids. Everybody know that. So don't laugh at me in this video when y'all see it. But and she just looked at me and she was like, "We got this." She was like, "You the strong. If I don't know no other mother, you got this. You strong. You got this. We got this. It's okay. It's okay." I think because I'm like, the mama bear, she didn't really know how to embrace me. Like, this lady crying. This lady is crying. Yes, snotty nose crying. But once I got that out, I knew I was already a step ahead. We already had service in place. Once I broke, I got myself out, dust my shoulders off, and I was ready for anybody that was ready for my baby. So at that moment, I knew I was doing the right thing by Leonard, and I tend to realize that I had a autism walk, and I will say my friends, family, gave great support. I was able to raise like $400 on my first walk, donated in his name. We had like food, we had some games. It was really nice. And I had realized at that point we got shirts made. I always have, I got earrings, I got socks, I do little things to support autism as well. But I also, my biggest enjoyment is talking to other parents, because what you realize is the fathers struggle in a different way. Yes, they do. They do. I have realized that fathers struggle differently, especially when it's a boy. When it's a girl, they struggle. They like, oh, my baby girl. Or like when it's a boy, they like, oh, my son don't play sports. Like, I got one son that's playing sports. The other one, we play sports in the backyard. He's getting it, but I wasn't able to find no lead in my area that would accommodate my son. So we still take him to soccer. We still play with soccer ball. We still play t-ball. We do it. He's getting it. It just takes a little bit more TLC. It takes repetition. You got to be repetitive with when you're dealing with autism. So we're getting there. He gonna do it. He got it. It's so cute to see him do it too. It's cute to see the little kids run the wrong way and do wrong things on the field, but that's another story. So accepting. After me and my husband accept, that was the first thing. We have to accept. And I remember one point in time, it was stated that, oh, he'll grow out of it. Don't worry, give him some time. I, on the other hand, was like, listen, whatever he need, he gonna always have the time. But in the meantime, mama gonna get him what he need. We gonna sign him up. We gonna get him what he need. And we gonna be researching, and we gonna learn, and we gonna teach, and we gonna do all this good stuff. So I started, everything was new for me. So I didn't understand the service. They would come in my house. They would do these things with my son. And I would be like, literally one time, OT came in with my son. My son was like this on the couch, listen, laid back, getting massages. And I was like, this lady is massaging our son. Like, my son looked like he was in heaven. I'm like, so wait a minute, she just come over for an hour, 30 minutes to massage my son? That ain't teaching my son nothing. Oh no, this lady got to go. What you doing to my baby? And so I started realizing that I was trusting. I would just let them do their thing and I would walk away. And then I would be up in the afternoon when my son is home, my children are home, and I'm doing this project with the kids. I'm doing like cookies or sensory seeking or trying to trace signs and dots and counting and nursery rhymes. I was like, well, these people meet my kids like 30 minutes out the week, once a week, an hour maybe out the week. How is my children going to be successful if I don't do it at home? I don't know what they do. Like, I don't even understand why you come to my house. I don't see no benefit from what you're doing with my child. And we weeks in. I'm like, so how do I address this? Because we weeks in now. I need to know why my baby ain't doing X, Y, Z. I heard you say these the goals, but I don't see what's going on. Then I would get in these meetings with these service, and we would do these meetings to talk about the goals and talk about reevaluation and stuff like that. It was like going over my head. I was like, okay, I know I feel like I got enough common sense to get a hold on this, and that's what I did. Because if you don't understand why the service is being rendered, or if you don't see the longevity in the service, guess what? You're going to be non-compliant. You're going to be one of them parents that's like, listen, I got other things to do besides meet up with you, child, for you to play with my baby. You're going to be one of them parents that's going to be like, well, okay, he done been talking to you for 2 months and I don't see no progress. But guess what? You got your child most of the time. Who has your child more than you? You. So if you don't see no progress, this person only meeting your child 2 days out the week, once a week, 30 minutes, an hour. What I did to change that. And this is when I started seeing progress and I started seeing the benefit of the service. I started asking questions. For the lady that was giving the massages, honey, she came in. I waited good until she started that. Mind you, I got cameras in my house, so this is how I can see. And they would give me a 10 minutes little briefing at when they're about to leave. And so I would go downstairs and I'd be like, listen, why are you massaging them? What's going on? Now, sad to say, she wasn't able to explain it well. That's what I'm going to say. Well, needless to say, I got a new occupational therapist. And on her interview, because when they're interviewing us and getting all this question and doing that intake, I'm interviewing them too. The first session is always going to be at the house, or I'm going to come to their clinic and, taking them in the back. I need to understand, because if my son or my children are crying during the whole session, that's common to happen because they don't know you. This is different. It's changing the environment, changing the scenery. But what are we going to do? When your child see you speaking to a person, they find comfort. Like, oh, my mama think this person cool, so I'm gonna give this person a try. But if mom ain't involved or dad ain't involved, making that bond, that unit kind of like solid, it's kind of like, okay, who this is? I'ma just. Now, sometimes they can adjust and handle that, but not often. So if you feel like your child is always acting out on this person, have a conversation and let the child see you having that conversation to build that trust, build that understanding. It helps sometimes, not all the time, because I got one that don't care. She ain't doing it. But she'll be like, okay, I'll do this. I'll just calm down and do it. But I realized I started getting more involved in the services that was being rendered. I started talking more to the techs, the service therapist, the OT, the speech, ABA. I started having a notebook, like with everybody, their goals. I got a folder saved on my computer with their goals that they told me they're working on. Or if I feel like, and I'll go in the room and run everybody program. So I watch them do it. I'll leave them alone with my child by the next 2 or 3 sessions. And since I don't watch him do it, I'll do it with him too. And after that, once he has mastered it, and I feel like he going to get the item himself and starting the process himself, okay, we need to add something on. We need to move up. Because what'll happen is they'll keep doing the same thing. Mind you, I did say earlier they learn off of repetition, but at the same time, we got to keep on going. Because we starting here and we trying to get here. So I realized that I did not realize the importance in services until I started getting involved in it. We busy, we working, we don't got time for that, right? And I will say, if I don't tell you nothing else, I don't have social media. YouTube is all I got, so you can't go on Facebook and look me up. I take them couple of minutes that I would give to something and give it to them. Even if it's 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you can also do some of these things riding in your car. You could do some of these things while you washing a child off. I mean, like squeezing it in. Squeezing it in ain't the best, but it's in there. Long as you get it in there. And that's when I started realizing the more importance of the services. I realized that a lot of people don't see the benefit in the services because they They're looking for microwave services. Oh, my son ain't speaking yet, and he done been in speech for years. Well, guess what? It's not going to happen overnight for some kids. It's not going to happen in a couple of weeks for no. It's not going to happen overnight for no kid. It's not going to happen. It may happen in 6 months for Johnny, but it may not take that long for every child is different. So when I get here and I talk to hear other people, kids saying this and doing this, guess what? I'll be so thankful because it lets me know that one day I may experience that feeling. The things that other people take for granted is just crazy for me. But I may have been one of those people that still take it for granted too until I had Leonard, right? I just need everybody to understand service is best rendered when you got somebody working with them at home to do these things. Especially our people that got multiple children, our people that don't even have multiple children. It's hard because you're working, you're doing life, and it's hard to do these things at home because you got your own issues, your own things that you're dragging along. So unfortunately, life is happening, and you still got to take this time out to get this child that extra TLC, even though they have gotten that TLC from here. I like to tell parents that kids, it's almost like when you work with your child, you're telling them it's okay to learn what this person is teaching you. They're teaching you something right. And it's like, oh, I learned this with this lady. Mommy doing it too? Daddy doing it too? Grandma doing it too? Okay, so I think that's, just trying to nail it home with the services. But we can't get services if we ain't accepting the fact that something is going on with our child. I see a lot of people dress their kids up real fly, real cute, and that's cute. That's cute. Barbie, Bully, Joanne, Suzanne, fly. I want her to be fly because I try to keep mine fly too. But fly is not going to cut it when you ain't doing what you're supposed to do and you're not able to, your child is not able to articulate their thoughts. I don't care if it's sign language. I don't care if it's a talking tablet. I don't care if it's a kite. I don't care if it's nonverbal. Just something so you can understand your child. If your child ain't meeting certain requirements and milestones, it's okay as long as we working with our children. But when we're not working with our children and we send them to school and be like, oh, school should teach them that. Services here, they gonna do that. Honey, listen, don't wait on nobody else to treat your kings and queens and get your kings and queens where they need to be at. You are their first teacher. You're their best teacher. You're their advocate. You're their teacher. You're their life, and they're your life. And so if you get what you putting in, kind of like back out. So what I will say is that if you accept, the family gonna accept, right? Because you don't want to walk in the house and the aunt got something to say. Oh, that boy don't listen. He just jump around for no reason. Auntie don't understand. Auntie don't understand. But if you don't understand, and if you haven't accept, your comment back gonna be just as bad as the comment she just made about your child. But if you don't accept, that's when your comment back gonna educate Auntie. Oh, well, Auntie, you know what? We came over today and we ain't gonna be over long, but he doing better, Auntie. We getting him some service, and I found a way to work with my child. So don't worry, we got it. You educating Auntie. Please believe you just educate Auntie. But if your response back is, oh, girl, please, ain't nobody want to sleep on your... Oh, yeah, he be jumping around now. He bad now. He bad. You ain't accepting. Is he really bad, or is there something going on? Is he or she having a hard time to express their thoughts to you? How would you feel if you couldn't express how you feel? How do you think you would feel if you didn't understand? We got to put ourselves in somebody else's shoes sometimes. In my next video, I'm going to wrap this one up because, listen, I get deep with this conversation. But in my next video, I am going to talk about questions that we don't ask people. If you don't want nobody to go off, don't you ask these questions about their children in a gentle way to do it. It's a way to do everything. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, when you say it. And that rule really applies when we talk about these people. We talk about kids. You would not believe some of the questions that I get asked. And people ain't talked to me in so long. They be like, oh, your son talking? Oh, he doing this? He potty trained? Wait. Did I ever ask you to watch him? Do you babysit? Why are you asking that? But unfortunately, people think it's okay. They think they don't think about what they're asking. It's basically, it's just rough. So we're gonna talk about that. I ain't gonna give y'all all the sauce of my conversations in this one video. Comment below if you like the video. Tag, leave a comment. Once again, I'm not no professional, but this is my thoughts, and I got every intention to put another video out there. So if you can, just leave your comments below. Also, until we meet again, we're gonna rock it out. We're gonna do what we need to do. We're gonna handle our business, and we're gonna take care. Y'all be safe out there. Have a good one.